Adams, and I live at 4803 Brandon Creek Drive. I've lived in that area since 2007. I moved to Boulder in 1978, and I've watched Boulder develop over the years. I went to graduate school at CU. I earned my doctorate in ecology, environmental studies, and I teach up at the University of Northern Colorado in the field of evolution and ecology. So I have some history in Boulder. I've been doing field work in Boulder since 1985 when I started as an undergraduate. And I've watched Boulder open space in mountain parks develop in ways that are quite troubling to me, as they've been sort of picked apart over the years and degraded through time in ways I don't think that were intended in the original designation of these lands as open space and wildlife sanctuaries. In terms of the Twin Lakes area, I think Kristen did a great job of talking about the wildlife, and it is a really important area because these parcels add a component of the ecosystem that is not present in other areas around Twin Lakes, and that is grasslands. So the species that inhabit those areas are not the same species that you're finding around the lakes in many cases. So it is unique to the biodiversity of the area. I would also like to express that really this is symptomatic of a much larger global issue. The World Wildlife Fund published a report, Living Planet report, that we have wiped out more than 50% of wildlife on Earth in the last 40 years. Think about that. The Earth is less than half alive than it was a mere 40 years ago. There's a paper published this summer in the journal Science that showed that for the first time, the biodiversity on Earth has dropped below levels that can support humans anymore on this planet. On and on. E.O. Wilson just published a new book called Half Earth, with a warning that if we do not start returning half of the Earth to the viable ecosystems that we need to survive on this planet, we will not be here much longer. MIT scientists published in 1972 that the carrying capacity on Earth is 3.5 billion humans. Okay, we're at 7 billion now, and they predicted that 7 billion mark, that if we hit that by 2030 there's going to be a global collapse. Okay, and human population will drop to 500 million people globally a few years after that. We are in an environmental crisis, a biodiversity crisis, and we need to start acting like it. This everyday business as usual is going to drive us right off the cliff, and we're all going to pay a large price for it. And I hope we can be reasonable about this in a town like Boulder, that we have to solve our housing needs on top of wildlife is ridiculous. We have many other options for this, and wildlife should not pay the cost for our mistakes, our overpopulation, our overconsumption on this planet once again, and particularly not in Boulder, Colorado, as a history of protecting wildlife and protecting areas that wildlife can remain safely. And it is most important that this wildlife is allowed to occur safely in these urban areas, in these small little parcels that we've left for them, where we've paved everything else over. Surely we can be big enough to leave a little bit of land for these animals and figure out another way to develop for affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Suzanne Yoshida.